So, yesterday, on February 11th, at approximately 11:17, the world in general and Kenya in specific was stricken by the death of one of Kenya's greatest athletes. His name was Kelvin Kiptum. And for those who don't know Kelvin, he was actually the world record holder for the marathon. So nobody has ever ran as fast as this guy when it comes to the marathon. I believe he ran it at was it 2 minutes? Yeah, he actually beat uh, uh, Eliud Kipchoge, who was actually the then current world record holder. And there's been a lot of conspiracy and a lot of mystery when it comes to this matter in specific, because people think there's some form of foul play, right? That somebody might have caused this accident, and so yeah, let's talk about that, bro. Let's talk about that because that's a very serious accusation, right? Killing somebody this famous. I mean, uh, this has to be people who are very well connected, if that's what happened. But let's analyze this, bro. Let's go through the data. Let's not just go through what we want to be the case. Let's just go with the data that we have here. So this guy was 24 years old, very young, especially for marathon. Marathon, unlike most other sports, in marathon you actually get better the older you get, right? I believe Eliud Kipchoge is way over 30, is probably like 32 or 33. So this guy had quite a few years to get much better at the marathon. So I don't know. Do you guys think he might have been killed? Now, here's the interesting thing. I was watching the interview. They were actually interviewing his father. His father, uh, they were asking him, "How was your son?" Right? And apparently, this guy was the only son of his father, which kind of made it even sadder, right? He was the only child. The father doesn't have anybody else. He does have the mother, but the reason why they only have one child, which is kind of unusual for African family, is because apparently the mother had some complications when they gave birth to Kelvin, and so the doctor told the mother, they told the parents, uh, it, it's going to be better if you don't have any kids. So they never had any kids. So anyway, I was watching this interview, and apparently a few days before Kelvin died. Uh, few like four strange men came to their house, and they were asking for Kevin. They wanted to speak with the father, and apparently they said they were from the government. But the father was like, "I need to see some papers, so I can know for sure you're from the government." And apparently those guys just they went off. They just took off. They didn't wait. They didn't provide any papers or anything. So this had this detail has added some, mystery to it and some conspiracy too. But let's analyze this, okay? Let's look at what could possibly have caused this murder. Let's say it was a murder, right? Let's say Kelvin was indeed murdered by unknown people. Why why would anybody kill Kelvin, right? Some people have actually started accusing Eliud Kipchoge. They've been saying, "Oh, Eliud killed him because apparently, Eliud and Kelvin." So Eliud, I think I already said this, but Kelvin broke Eliud Kipchoge's record for the marathon. So people are saying like, uh, Eliud Kipchoge might have had something to do with it because he didn't. They were actually going to compete in Paris this year. They were actually going to run together, so they were going to face off, some way or another. So people are saying like, Eliud might have killed this guy, to get rid of competition. But I don't know about that, bro. That's too far fetched. First of all, Eliud is not that kind of person. Not that I actually know Eliud, but Eliud I mean, the last race, I think Elliot lost, but nobody died, bro. I mean, if Elliot was such a murderous, person, then I think, you know, the other people could have died, some other people, but there's just not too much uh, weight to that. You know what I mean? And the second thing, bro, the way this guy died, he died by accident. Now, I'm not saying you can't stage an accident, a road accident, but it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of expertise to fake uh, an accident. You know what I mean? So for you to fake an accident as a death, or for you to fake killing somebody as an accident, it takes a lot of work, bro. You have to really mess with people who really want you dead, and who really want you dead in a very conspicuous manner, in a way that nobody will know. But this guy was just a runner, bro. He didn't mess with any politicians. He didn't mess with the deep state. He didn't mess with some foreign government. You know what I mean? So there's really no weight to somebody wanting to kill him in that fashion. Uh, it's just too much. There's a lot of ways somebody could have killed him without having to fake an accident. So yeah, those are the arguments that some people are putting forward to say that this guy was murdered. But let's look at the other side. Let's look at the evidence that support that this guy was actually just killed as an accident, as a genuine accident. Now, let me show you the photos. There's actually photos here. So there's this photo right here. This is the first photo. And as you can see, there's a lot of mangling on this side. And let's look at the next photo. And there's this, there's definitely a lot of impact, right, on this accident. Uh, but here's a strange thing. Let me pull up. Here's a strange thing. Some people are actually pointing out that since the front of the car, let me pull forward. You guys see the front. There was not a lot of impact on the front. So some people are saying like this car might have been knocked from behind. So probably somebody knocked him from behind, and that's how he lost control. But I don't know. I mean, because the way this guy died apparently was he knocked a tree. And there's very heavy evidence to prove that this guy knocked a tree. Let's look at this impact point right here. Let's look at this. You see, this is a tree. Like, this is not another car, bro. This is not another car. I've actually been involved in an accident. And I can tell you for a fact that this is an impact of a tree. I mean, you can even see how straight it is. So that accusation of saying like this guy might have been knocked from behind is very weak. And first, I think there's even more photos to show the back of the vehicle. Let's look at the back of the vehicle. There's those photos here. Hold on. Look at the back. There's literally no impact on the back. I mean, the bumper came out, but this is not how it looks when somebody knocks you from behind. Because I know that because I've actually been rear-ended. So the reason why the bumper came out was probably because of just the impact from the front. So there's really no evidence to prove that somebody knocked him or in some way. And some people are actually saying, hey, this guy might have been T-boned. For those who don't know T-bone is when you get knocked from a car at a 90-degree angle. And some people are actually saying that that's why there's this impact right here. But let me show you a car that has been T-boned. This is not it. Let's see a car that has been T-boned. I want you to notice this. Where is it? I want you to notice this depression. When you get T-boned, there's a depression on the vehicle. Like the vehicle goes inside. Like, you know what I mean? Look at how this thing goes in. It's not the same here. This was not a T-bone. You know what I mean? Nobody knocked this guy from the side. Because first of all, we would have seen some impact on the entire length of the car. So this was definitely not a T-bone accident, right? But let's look at another thing, bro. let's look at another very, very strong point that suggests that this was just a random case of accident. Let's look at where this accident occurred. So when I read the report, they said the accident occurred somewhere along Flux Junction in Kaptagat. And coincidentally, bro, that's where I'm from. Like that Flux area, that KO, it's KO South area. It's a very, there's a lot of black spots, especially around Chirchir and especially around Flux Junction. I know that because I'm from there. There's been countless amounts of accidents. Not too many, but there's been a significant amount of accidents in that road. And I want to show you why. I went ahead and pulled up some Google Maps. I want you guys to see the terrain of this area, bro. Look at how sharp the curves are. Let's go ahead and drive on this side. Look at how sharp, this road is. I mean, it's crazy. It's in a very high elevation area. So when they made these roads, they had to actually go around hills and stony areas. So there's a lot of sharp turns, and the roads are not very well marked. Like one of the cases is this road right here. Look at how sharp this curve is, man. So there's a very strong possibility, and you also have to take into account that this accident happened in the middle of the night, right? At 11 p.m. 11, is it p.m.? Yeah, 11 p.m. So this was pretty much close to midnight. So the road visibility was not too good. That's another strong point, right? And the other thing, you have to consider how old Kelvin was. This guy was 24. Now, here's the thing about deaths when it comes to road accidents. In every other cause of death, when you look at heart attacks, when you look at diabetes, when you look at all this, or even COPD, all these causes of death, they actually tend to, your chances of dying of these diseases is actually higher the older you are. But when it comes to road accidents, it's actually the opposite. Younger people tend to get involved with more accidents, right? Just because they lack, first of all, they lack experience when driving, right? And this guy was really young, so he was 24, so he hadn't had a lot of time driving, right? So that's one thing. And the other thing, there's a good chance, I'm not saying that's what the case, but there's a chance that this guy might have been drunk a little bit. Maybe he just went ahead and sipped a little. I'm not saying that's what happened, but this happened. Remember, this happened on Saturday at 11 p.m. And that's when most people party. So there's maybe a chance that maybe he might have been, maybe he drank something a little, but he thought he was good, but maybe it ended up happening that he was actually not good enough to drive. So maybe that's how he ended up veering off the road. And let's go ahead and look at this photo again. I want you to look where the car is, right? Look at the position of the car. This car went off on the other side. Remember, Kenya drives on the left side, right? But this car is on the other side. This car is on the right side. And I know this because when you look at this photo right here, look at where the impact is. And look at this is where the road is. Yeah, you can kind of tell the road is somewhere on this side. This vehicle is facing on it. So this car went to the opposite side. Let me pull up and try to do some forensic. So, assuming this is where the direction this guy was driving, this guy went this way. I don't know if you guys can see. He went on this side, and he went to the ditch. Remember, as you can see, there's a lot of ditches around this area. So maybe he was going around a corner like this one. And this is actually the approximate area that this happened. So I don't know, I might actually be somewhere where this exactly happened. So I'm assuming he went off on this side and he went off to this ditch right here. So you see these ditches. And he likely crashed into one of the trees on the side of the roads. Wait, let's look at this tree. Bro, this looks like the tree, bro. It looks very familiar. Let's go ahead and look at the other tree. There was a photo that showed the tree. that happened. Hold on. No, that's not it. That is not it. No. Hold on. Let me pull up the photo that shows the kind of tree. It really was a tree like that one. Yeah. Oh, hold on. So yeah, there's really no chance this guy was there was another car, bro. This was just a pure accident. Uh, it's really sad. I mean, it's really sad. Some people think I'm just saying this to disapprove, but Kenyans, what Kenyans are going through right now is a stage of grief. We're grieving, right? And one of the stages of grief is denial. And the second one is anger. People are angry. They deny that this guy just died by an accident, and they're angry because they want somebody to be held accountable. They want to blame it on somebody, but I really there's just no concrete proof to show that this guy was murdered or in any way. This was this was likely just an accident, a very unfortunate accident that just happened to happen to this fellow. Now it's so there was actually three people. I've only mentioned Kelvin in this whole episode, but there was actually a coach, Kelvin's coach, who was from Rwanda, who also passed on. But there was also a lady, and I want you to look at this car. I'm willing to bet on a lot of money that the lady was seated on this side, the side that wasn't affected by the tree, right? So maybe the lady was, as you can see, the vehicle wasn't as damaged on this side. So yeah, so the to Kelvin and his family, to Kelvin's family and the Rwanda person family. Uh, I'm really sorry for all of you, and for the lady who's still recovering. And also, I don't know if maybe it's also possible that they were not wearing the seat belts. So I don't know if that's what happened. But I don't know if that would have even made that much of a difference. As you can see, there's the seat, the chair is the car seat is kind of reclined a little bit. So this car probably even rolled. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's not a lot of blood. There's this misconception that when there's an accident, there's a lot of blood, but that's not usually the case. No, most people in accidents actually die from blunt force trauma, so not from cuts. So when you get knocked on the head or on the chest, you just die. There's usually internal bleeding, but not external. So that's why people used to, there's usually this misconception that whenever there's an accident, there's not usually any blood because there's some demons who drink the blood, but that's not usually the case. Most people die from blunt force trauma, and that's impact to the body, rather than cuts. Cuts are really made very well, and they're made in such a way that you would not be able to get cut by all this aluminum frames and whatnot. So that's why most people don't bleed, and that's why there's not a lot of blood in this vehicle. But it's really sad. It's really sad. But as we grieve and as we grieve, I mean, I understand that we're all angry and we want answers, but let's not jump into conclusions. Let's not blame people who have absolutely nothing to do it and cause more harm, and end up causing more harm than what's already is the case. Let's go ahead and celebrate the life of this legend, and and probably give him a proper send off. I'm being given I don't know why Facebook did that to me. But yeah, thank you to everybody who watched this video. I'm going to end this video because apparently Facebook thinks this is graphic, but I haven't shown anything. It's just a photo that I found on Facebook, which is kind of weird. I don't know why no, there's not. Let me disagree. But yeah, thank you to everybody who joined. Thank you to everybody who liked. Thank you to Robbie Cherop and to Vera Kim and to David Taylor and Millie Millie and the 4 people who liked my video. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you to Rotich Tony, man. And yeah, let's actually start looking at our rods, bro. Our rods are very unsafe. Let's make an effort of making our leaders accountable, to make sure there's guardrails on our roads, and to make sure there's signposts that show that if there's a sharp turn coming up, there should be signs that show, hey, there's a sharp turn coming ahead. Be ready to turn, right? And also let's improve the quality of driver education. That's the way we'll be able to end this kind of senseless deaths on our roads. Let's not just blame it on devils or some hypothetical thing that's just non-existent.